Hey everyone, Kinsey here. And we have had a lot of new members in my private Facebook group, Holistic Solutions for Mental Health and Wellness, that have Graves' disease, autoimmune hyperthyroidism. And so I wanted to hop on and do a quick talk talking about some things that can help with Graves' disease. So let me notify everyone that I'm going live. And also, in light of the poll that I posted last week, and understanding that more people want like quick, easy to digest videos, that's what I'm going to start doing. So I'm going to keep this to 10 minutes or less. Okay, so Graves' disease is autoimmune hyperthyroidism. What happens is normally, the thyroid, no, the thyroid always is a butterfly-shaped gland that sits at the base of the throat, and it releases two main hormones, T4 and T3. T4 produces about 93% T4, only about 7% T3. T3 is the active form of the hormone. It is what exerts the increase in metabolism and energy production globally, as well as many other changes to the body. Which is why the symptoms of either hypo or hyperthyroidism are very vast. So with Graves, we'll see irregular heart rate, changes in digestion, especially diarrhea or acid reflux and bloating, fatigue, insomnia, anxiety, weight loss, and many others. So what happens in Graves is the thyroid is usually under control of the pituitary gland in the brain. The pituitary gland releases a hormone called a thyroid stimulating hormone. And that hormone binds to receptors on the thyroid gland, triggering it to release its hormones, T4 and T3. In the case of Graves, the immune system becomes dysfunctional and starts producing autoantibodies to that receptor, to those receptors, thyroid stimulating hormone receptor. When that happens, it exerts a similar effect to TSH, causing the thyroid gland to overproduce its hormones, as well as even grow in size and hypertrophy in the formation of goiters. So, while ultimately the best approach, just like to any autoimmune condition, is to take a root caused bio-individual approach by looking at your environment and seeing what triggered the immune system to become dysfunctional. I'm talking about things like gut health, pathogens, toxin exposure, stress, poor diet. All of these things contribute to overwhelming your immune system, turning on the genes for autoimmunity, and allowing conditions like Graves to express. I have many more resources on holistic approaches to autoimmunity in my Facebook group, Holistic Solutions for Mental Health and Wellness. I'm also linking to it in this talk. So I'm not going to go down that road today. I wanted rather to talk specifically about Graves and specifically some nutrition and supplements that can help. So for nutrition, there's two main approaches that I use, but it depends on the person and it depends on how symptomatic they are. But they're very similar and they're both center around ancestral eating. So for some people, I will use the paleo diet or a variation of it. So we're really emphasizing whole foods, anti-inflammatory. We're taking out foods like gluten, dairy, soy, corn, sugar, processed foods, in some cases, all grains. But this is where it really becomes nuanced because many people that I work with Graves, we don't have to remove all grains. But that's kind of the gist of the paleo diet. For some people, if they're really symptomatic, I'll recommend the autoimmune paleo diet, which takes all of the paleo one step further. We remove nightshades, nuts and seeds, all grains, chocolate, eggs, and some other foods. But an anti-inflammatory diet is really important. Next, for supplements, and Gio, hey, thanks for joining. Provide a quick recap of what Graves is. Yes. So Graves is an autoimmune condition that attacks the thyroid stimulating hormone receptors that are on the thyroid gland itself. And this causes the thyroid gland to overproduce its hormones, leading to hyperthyroidism and all of its associated symptoms. Okay, so next, you can probably hear my little baby in the background. She's with my husband. She's squawking. Um, okay, so next I wanted to share some supplements that can be really helpful. Number one is selenium. Selenium is really helpful for both Hashimoto's and Graves, autoimmune thyroid disease in general. Has been shown to help lower antibodies in both Hashimoto's and Graves. Selenium is a really powerful antioxidant, and it's really helpful for regulating the immune system because it's involved in the production of glutathione, which is the body's master antioxidant, detoxifier, and immune regulator. So, a fantastic food source of selenium are Brazil nuts. If you eat 4 Brazil nuts a day, you're getting a therapeutic dose of selenium. Otherwise, I often start people supplementing at about 150, call it 100 to 200 micrograms of selenium per day. But oftentimes, I just tell people to eat at least 4 Brazil nuts a day. So definitely look into selenium. Number two is carnitine. So carnitine, it's an amino acid that normally helps. One big thing that it's used for, in addition to many other things, is shuttle fats into the cell where they can be used for energy. However, in this case, the effect that carnitine has is it actually blocks the activity of T3, that primary thyroid hormone, on peripheral tissue. And that can help, while it doesn't affect the actual levels of thyroid hormone in the body, nor does it impact the actual autoimmune response that is Graves, it can be really helpful for symptom control, especially if you're having a lot of those hyperthyroid symptoms. Then carnitine, especially taken on an empty stomach, can be really helpful in reducing those symptoms. And the next is lemon balm. So lemon balm is an adaptogenic herb that blocks the activity of TSH on the thyroid gland. So therefore, it can help modulate thyroid levels if they're being overproduced, thyroid hormone levels if they're being overproduced. All right, everyone, that's all I've got for you today. I want to keep this talk short and sweet, so hopefully more people are able to approach it. But again, I've linked in this post, I've linked the longer talk that I've given to holistic approaches for autoimmunity. And I've also linked a really interesting case study. It's a case study article that was published by the NIH that talks about how a woman put her Graves' disease into remission using ancestral eating and lifestyle modification. So if you are listening to this and you are ready to finally find answers and holistic solutions to managing and even putting your Graves into remission, I've linked also a link to my calendar, schedule a free 15-minute discovery call to talk more about the health challenges that you're having and how we might be able to help. I know we have several people in this group that's how they found me, and we've had wonderful results together on Graves' disease specifically. So hope this was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you all next week.